Hello again, this is Alex with MasterChartsTrading.com, and this is market recap for Friday, April 19, 2019. We have quite a bit to cover today, so I'll get right to it. We have quite a bit of various stock funds. Some of them are hitting fresh highs. I'll give an example of a recent trade we did at MasterCharts Trading. For McDonald's, we'll look at yield curve. Junk bonds are confirming the move higher. We'll look at dollar and gold price action. Still kind of weird. Some gold miners are actually hitting new lows. We have an oil trade going, so I won't give an example of that, but I can give an example of natural gas. And we'll look at crypto, and I'm going to look at Ethereum this week as well. So first, let's look at S&P 500, and this is S&P 500 ETF SPY. S&P 500 ETF SPY. So we're approaching new record highs. New record highs are like literally just a few points away. If you add in the dividends, then we have already hit the fresh record highs. So this is a bullish, obviously bullish chart, and this is a bullish posture. So we should be looking on this chart and on the chart of various stocks, especially ETFs, and as a bullish, from a bullish perspective. Dow Jones also very close to all-time highs, so again approaching all-time highs. This is a bullish posture. We should be looking at buying stocks. We should not be looking to sell, to short, anything of that nature. QQQ, Nasdaq 100. This is a fresh record all-time high. The price has never been up here in the past. This is showing good appetite for risk by the investors. This is also showing a nice trade we did at MasterCharts Trading. By the way, I forgot to mention that the indicators you're seeing on this chart, this line, the green line, the blue, the red, and the yellow line, are available at MasterChartsTrading.com. Simply go there and sign up. You can also find me on TradingView.com. I'm at MasterCharts. All right, let's continue to the various stock ETFs and sectors. So here's one sector, and that's utilities sector. Now, utilities actually broke out a while back, somewhere in the beginning of March. We have been trading it, and this is an actual alert that was sent to the subscribers of MasterCharts Trading on the 23rd of January with a very nice gain. So if you opened, congratulations. Another very nice alert here is for XLY. You can also chat with me at MasterCharts on TradingView. You open the chat window. So these two right here, arrows on 31st of January and one on 12th of February, were actual alerts that were sent to my subscribers. If you have my indicators, and I highly recommend you have them because it's just so easy to trade and it's easy to set them up, you can see that on 8th of March there was not an alert, but if you had the indicators you could have bought it right there with a beautiful move higher. So in XLY is a consumer discretionary. This is the most economically sensitive sector of the economy. So if it is hitting fresh highs, that means the investors are positioning for risk on trade. In other words, they are the investors are thinking that the time is good to invest and risk is actually relatively low of a stock market collapse. XLK, this is a technology sector, another alert right there on the 15th of February to my subscribers, and again another opportunity right there on the 8th of March if you had my indicators, so you can just trade on your own. So technology, very high beta sector, high volatility stocks in this ETF, so notice that they're breaking to fresh highs, and this is obviously a good sign, because fresh highs are very bullish. Some sectors are not, immediately going higher. XLV, this is healthcare. Now, all of these arrows up, technically well, except for this one right there on the 10th of December, were completed successful trades, just depending on where your targets are. And usually I set my targets about 2 average true ranges, and you can add the indicator to your chart called ATR, or average true range, and it's right there on the bottom, ATR. So usually I set my targets about 1 to 2 average true ranges, sometimes 3 average true ranges, and the vast majority of the times they come to a profit target. So most of this, except for one, this failed trade right there, but the rest are actually successful. So I'm looking at this chart right here, XLV Healthcare. I see that there's quite a bit of selling pressure. Does that mean it's going to continue lower? Usually stocks and stock funds, they correlate highly to one another. In other words, if one stock fund goes up, the other ones will follow. XLV or healthcare is a part of the S&P 500. So overall, I think this drop here is probably going to be an opportunity once this bottoming pattern unfolds, and we should see a move higher again. In fact, here is IBB. This is a biotechnology sector. Similar idea, basically. I'm waiting for a close above the blue line. You can find out more about this indicators. The blue line is at MasterChartsTrading.com. So I'm looking for a close above 110, basically. Another example of a very nice recent trade, and this is another fresh record high right there. And this is a XLP, consumer staples. Stocks like Clorox are in this ETF. But overall, the system is pretty straightforward if you look at this chart. All we have to do is just know where the blue line is. The blue line currently is around 53. And notice that here on the 11th of February and then another one right there on the 11th of March, a couple of alerts to my subscribers at MasterCharts Trading. Beautiful move higher to fresh record highs. This is a very bullish chart, and we should continue looking for re-entry opportunities. Another very nice trade we did at MasterCharts Trading for XSD. You can also trade SMH, it makes no difference. SMH, same thing, but XSD I just prefer personally because it's more diversified. Couple of alerts, one on February 1st, right, 4th rather, and another one right there on 8th of February. So overall, very nice move higher. We can see about almost over 20% move higher. So yeah, pretty nice. Again, if you opened, congratulations. If you haven't signed up, sign up at MasterCharts Trading. The junk bonds are confirming the move higher. The breakout in junk bonds occurred around the same time that the breakout in stocks occurred. Right there on the 4th of February, the stock market broke out, and junk bonds broke out just slightly earlier in late January. So overall, junk bonds and stocks correlate very highly to one another. In other words, they move together in lockstep. They move in the same direction together. So if junk bonds are moving higher, then stocks usually move higher with them. And this is a fresh high for the move, and I think that junk bonds are confirming this move higher for stocks. Bonds, let's look at TLT. So I actually have a position myself. I opened recently in January at 121.07. Kind of set through this meandering. Sent another alert right there on the 4th of March to my subscribers. It just took off immediately. I sold two portions. I sold in a quarter and another quarter. So I actually sold half of my position. And I moved my stop to above entry, currently at 122 or so. And I almost got stopped out a few days ago, but not yet. So overall, obviously, a successful trade. I wanted to show a yield curve. So here is a yield curve as of today, or rather yesterday, because today is Good Friday. So 18th of April. You can see that the yield curve basically normalized. If we go back a little bit to like 26th of March, 25th, like 26th of March was the worst possible yield curve. You can see that short-term yields were actually higher than the about 5-year yields. But again, I wasn't terribly worried about it, because to get to the inversion, something like this needs to happen, where short-term yields are actually higher than the very long-term yields. So again, I wasn't terribly worried, and notice that now the yield curve looks more or less normal when we have the short-term yields lower than the long-term yields. So overall, you can see that bonds are slightly coming down from the highs that were achieved recently, as early as 27th of March. For example, here's that 7 to 10 year Treasury bond fund. Intermediate bond fund also pulled back. But, you know, we were simply looking for a trade, and the trade was obviously successful. Here was an alert in December, actually. The same goes for short-term bonds. We had an alert in late December with just an enormous move higher. I mean, for short-term bonds, this is a big move. And then obviously by an extension, the short-term yields moved the opposite direction. So overall, we are still thinking that bonds are going to continue higher. So we're trading them on the upside. So I wanted to give an example, and let me see, where is that example of? I wanted to give an example of McDonald's, right? So McDonald's example. This is an actual trade we did, and the way I think about trading is I try to simplify things as much as possible, and I only look at the price and then my indicators. So again, you can find out more about them at MasterChartsTrading.com. But basically, all I'm thinking about is has the stock closed above the blue line? If it has closed above the blue line, then we simply need to look for buying opportunities on a pullback towards that blue line. So you can see several opportunities. One opportunity was here on 2nd of January. Another opportunity right there on 7th of February, and then another beautiful one on 14th of February. All of those arrows were actual alerts to my subscribers. So, for example, you can see that the latest alert from 14th of February resulted in an over 10% gain, and this is a all-time high. So overall, this looks to be set to continue higher. Okay, so let's look at gold and dollar. I'm currently, if you're one of the subscribers, then you will know that I am currently reluctant to trade gold and forex. This may change very soon. I think the patterns are going to be finally coming to some sort of a conclusion. It's possible that this is a head and shoulders kind of pattern, and maybe we're having a neckline break of that head and shoulders. But I'm not a big fan of various formations in the chart, so I don't really worry about them too much. I'm only looking at the blue line basically. And right now, even though there was an opportunity right there on the 4th of April, I just didn't feel like this price action was worth it, and I decided to hold off and not enter. You can see DXY, the dollar index, is approaching new highs again. So it is confusing which way gold and dollar will go, so I'm currently staying out. Here's an interesting one. This is a gold miner, core mining symbol CDE. This is not an alert, but you can see a very interesting price action right there on the 20th of February. Price came up exactly to the red line, stopped there and then just bounced off, and then we have a new low. So this is another reason why I'm reluctant currently to trade gold, is some of the gold miners actually moving down. So let's, personally I would wait, honestly. For natural gas, there is not much except for these are fresh lows for the move. If you were lucky and you opened right there and on the 15th of January, 16th of January, then you had just a tremendous move in your favor. And these were actual alerts to my subscribers as well. Let's continue to cryptos. So here is Litecoin, the first breakout. The breakout here occurred on the 2nd of April with an enormous move in our favor. I didn't send an alert to my subscribers, but I'm watching it much more now. And I'm looking for a pullback towards the blue line, which is currently around 70 bucks. So if we see a pullback towards the blue line, bottom in action, and then a move higher. This is all I'm looking for, basically. Bitcoin, not yet broken out, but approaching the breakout levels. In my opinion, it's around $6,000. So let's wait for a breakout. Ethereum also approaching breakout levels, currently at 231. And I like that the indicators are curving down and they're getting closer and closer to one another. So overall, this means that the price has less distance to travel towards the bullish levels. Alright, that's it for today's recap. It's a little bit fast, but if you have any questions, please send them in. Find me at MasterCharts Trading. Also find me on TradingView at MasterCharts. If you go to MasterChartsTrading.com, click on Alerts and Indicators, and then sign up for one of the access plans. So first, of course, is just the alerts, the ones that I just shown you. The other plan is to just get your own trading indicators and trade on your own. And of course, the best deal is to get both the indicators and my commentary. And I think since the trading indicators are almost 30 bucks and the commentary is, $5 more basically, I think it makes perfect sense to get the full package. Alright, if you have any questions, please send them in. Thanks for watching and have another great trading week. Bye-bye.